hearing that California Democrats have a draft, or almost are done with the draft of these maps. Have you been in conversations with leadership about this? Have you seen the maps? And of course, this would end up going through the legislature.
I haven't seen the maps, but we helped initiate those conversations. My team were part of those conversations last night. They've been an ongoing series of conversations that continued into the evening, continued this morning, and will continue until we land on a process. That process has to have the concurrence, the support of 2/3 of the legislature. The maps, we believe, should be transparent. They should be provided in a transparent way to the public. And as a consequence, those maps are being processed and will be brought to light. I have not had the opportunity, nor am I getting the details of what those maps look like. I'll allow more objective minds to do just that. But the ultimate determination will be by the people of the state of California. We will offer them the opportunity to make judgment for themselves. Again, only if Texas moves forward. We would maintain the framework of the Independent Redistricting Commission that I support, that I believe in. We would just allow for this mid-census redistricting to occur just for congressional maps in 26, 28, and 30. It would also state, as I said a moment ago, and I'll reinforce, that we believe it should be a national model, independent national redistricting, and it would revert back to its original form. But it's done in response to the existential realities that we're now facing. Things have changed. Facts have changed. So we must change. I think it's in the spirit of, Lincoln's infamous second inaugural. We have to disenthrall ourselves so we can save this country. We've got to think anew. We've got to act anew. Things have changed. We're reacting to that change. They've triggered this response, and we're not going to roll over. And we're going to fight fire with fire. But we're going to do so not just punching with the weight of the fourth largest economy, the most populous state in our union, the size of 21 state populations combined, but we also will punch above our weight in terms of the impact of what we're doing. And I think that should be absorbed by those in the Texas delegation. Whatever they are doing will be neutered here in the state of California. And they will pay that price. And we believe public opinion is with our approach. And I appreciate the growing recognition in other states of other governors of like mind and the people of this country recognizing what's at stake. These folks don't play by the rules. If they can't win playing the game with the existing set of rules, they'll change the rules. That's what Donald Trump has done. He's dialing for seats. Familiar because he dialed for votes in the last election. Here's someone who tried to break this country, tried to light democracy on fire on January 6th. He recognizes he's going to lose in the midterms, and we have the opportunity to de facto end the Trump presidency in less than 18 months. That's what's at stake, and that's why we're putting a stake in the ground. We're not drawing lines to draw lines. We're holding the line on democracy, on the rule of law, co-equal branches of government, popular sovereignty. That's what this is about.
Did you invite Texas Democrats who are breaking quorum to come to California?
They were told we would support them in any way, and I was with them, as you know, last week at the governor's mansion.
Governor, separately from what you're doing here in California, are you planning on making any investments in Texas to stop the match?
Well, we're going to do what we can to resource and support them, but our focus is here on California.
Should Californians be prepared to go to the polls in November for a special election?
It's cause and effect. It's triggered on the basis of what occurs or doesn't occur in Texas. I hope they do the right thing, and if they do the right thing, then there'll be no cause for us to have to move forward. But again, we're working with the legislature on a trigger that if they do move forward, California will not sit by idly and watch this democracy waste away. We'll fight fire with fire, we'll assert ourselves, and we'll punch above our weight, and it will have profound impacts on the national outcome, not just here in the state of California. I appreciate it's already led to some members of our delegation now calling for independent redistricting. That's an encouraging sign. So already, perhaps people are waking up to the reality of California entering into this conversation. We're not a small state. Again, we punch above our weight. It will have profound national implications if we move forward. And I'm confident if we move forward, the people of this great state will support this effort.
If California moves forward with a special election for this mid-decade redistricting effort.
Governor Gavin Newsom has shared that California Democrats are nearing completion of the draft maps for the state's redistricting process. While he has not directly seen the final versions, his team has been heavily involved in the conversations surrounding these maps. These discussions have been ongoing, continuing into the evening and morning, as they work toward finalizing a transparent process. The goal is to ensure that the maps are made publicly available for scrutiny, reflecting the transparency that Newsom believes is crucial in maintaining public trust. The redistricting effort is being pursued with a critical perspective. Newsom has emphasized that the maps should be publicly transparent and that any decisions made will be done with the people of California in mind. The process is expected to go through the legislature, and ultimately, the decision will rest with the people. Newsom has advocated for a system of independent redistricting, believing this is a necessary model for all states to follow. However, he has also acknowledged the changing political landscape and how it demands new approaches. As the facts evolve, so too must the strategies to protect democracy, especially in the face of ongoing challenges. The governor has expressed a firm stance against the recent efforts of Texas, calling for a strong pushback. California, with its large population and economic power, is positioned to stand up against these efforts in a significant way. Newsom stresses that this is not about drawing lines for the sake of it, but about defending democracy, ensuring the rule of law, and protecting the principle of popular sovereignty. California is prepared to assert itself in the national conversation, knowing its actions will have a profound impact on the broader political landscape. In the midst of these developments, Newsom has encouraged California Democrats to support their counterparts in Texas, offering assistance if needed. He reiterated that while California's focus remains on its own actions, the state is ready to support Texas Democrats who are fighting against efforts that they believe will undermine the democratic process. The governor's office has committed resources and support to these efforts, making it clear that California will not stand by idly while democracy is threatened elsewhere. Newsom also addressed the idea of a special election triggered by these redistricting efforts. If Texas moves forward with its controversial actions, California will not hesitate to take action. The governor expressed confidence that if the state moves forward with its redistricting efforts, the people of California will back the initiative. He sees the growing calls for independent redistricting within the state as a positive sign, suggesting that people are beginning to realize the national implications of California's involvement in this critical conversation. By pushing for changes in the redistricting process, California hopes to create a ripple effect, inspiring other states to follow suit in reforming how electoral boundaries are drawn, ensuring that they reflect fairness, transparency, and the will of the people. The outcome of this redistricting battle, however, largely hinges on Texas actions. If Texas moves forward with their approach, California will stand firm, but Newsom remains hopeful that reason will prevail. If Texas takes the right steps, there will be no need for California to intervene, but the governor has made it clear that the state will not allow its democracy to be compromised. In the end, the redistricting efforts in California are part of a larger effort to safeguard democratic principles on a national scale.